Welcome to Stuck Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff, and I want startup businesses to be wildly successful. It's all about making money, right? So today we're very fortunate to have Ann Hooper from Ann Hooper Coaching with us, and we're going to be talking about accounting systems for startups. Welcome, Ann.
Hi, thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background and what your favorite accounting systems are.
Okay, so I am a CPA and I worked in corporate for a long time before I decided to take off on my own and start my own business. And now I'm supporting small business owners to help them make sure that they have the proper systems in place and processes so that they can run their business effectively.
So what do startups need to know first?
Okay, so the first thing I would say that startups need to know is that it's very important to first track their financial information. I've seen a lot of people that get started and they either think I don't have enough going on or I can do this later, and then they end up getting into a mess where they have everything backing up. And most people that I work with, numbers are not their favorite thing. And so once it starts to pile up, it gets to be overwhelming and they just shut down and don't get it done. My recommendation is to spend 10 minutes a day doing it to stay on top of it. It'll be much more easy to tackle that way than waiting until you have like a month's worth of bookkeeping to do. Using a system, something like QuickBooks Online is a really good system for small businesses to use. It's pretty user friendly towards a business owner. Like the interface is pretty easy to use. So try to get started with something like that. If it's a very small business, you could start with a spreadsheet, but don't let that go too far before you move into a software to make things easier for yourself. So.
Okay, so what else do startups need to know?
So the other thing I would say is there are a couple of professionals you should get to know right away. A tax preparer for sure, because you don't want to miss deductions that you can be taking for your business. And right from the beginning, you want to make sure you're keeping track of those things in your business that you need to be keeping track of for tax time. You don't want to like be in business for a year, go to your tax preparer and then find out you don't have the records necessary. There's just too much involved there, and most people are not up to date enough on tax law to be able to do their taxes themselves. So definitely get a tax preparer involved right away. And the other person I would say that you want to start a relationship with immediately is a business banker, because when you're looking at your cash flow and trying to see, how your business is doing, and if you need more funds, you want to have that relationship established with that person already so that you have someone that can kind of guide you through that and walk you through those things that you may need to be doing to qualify for a loan, or even keeping your eyes out for things like grants and things like that to get an infusion of cash when needed.
Right. And it's a really good idea, if not essential, to have your business account in a different institution from your personal account, right?
Yes, for sure. And definitely do not commingle and use your personal account for business expenses. That's a good way to lose tax deductions and a good way to not have any idea where your business stands. You really can't tell, are you making money or do you need to change anything if you've got everything mixed up with your personal information. So yeah, definitely do not do that.
And you need a paper trail. You get receipts for everything.
Yes, because if the IRS ever does audit you and you don't have a receipt, they can disallow any deductions that you've taken on your tax return that you did not have a receipt for. So definitely keep those receipts in that paper trail. There's so much technology now that you can use for receipts that you can just like snap a picture of it on your phone and use a technology to store them for you if you don't want to have like a huge paper file that you're carrying around or anything like that. So it's really easy to keep that paper trail now.
Right.
Paper trail.
But just an item on your credit card statement doesn't count. There has to be a real receipt there.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
And mileage logs. Very, very important. There are apps that'll keep it separate from your personal versus your business travel. But if you don't keep that log with who you met and what it was for, the IRS isn't going to allow it. And
Right.
there's some significant money in my list.
Yes, there is definitely significant money there. And like you said, there's a lot of apps where you can just click it on and it'll do the calculating for you. So you don't have to manually track it if you're doing a lot of traveling. So,
Okay.
yes.
So a tax person and a business banker, is there any other member of the team that a startup should have?
If you are, I would just say that keep a bookkeeper in mind. Don't let it go too long because your financial information is the backbone of your business. And if you don't know what's going on, it's really hard to grow your business if you don't have those financial statements to be able to look at. If you ever need a loan and you don't have financial statements and a business plan, that's another thing that's important. If you might need a loan in the future, you won't be able to get those things if you don't have those finances and documents in order, and you don't want to wait until you have that need and then be trying to piece together your finances. So the other thing is an insurance person, know your industry and understand the risks there. You know, do you need like a contract? Do you need insurance for your business? And really meeting with an insurance person to talk through what you're doing so that they can make sure you have the proper coverage to protect yourself. So
Sure. Sometimes even things like errors and omissions you're not even aware of, and you need to talk to an insurance person to verify those things.
yes, and the big thing now too is like cyber security insurance. So many people are doing business online and making sure you're not keeping people's information and have it get, lost or something like that and not have that protection in place. So definitely important. Yeah.
So if you really don't like doing numbers, do them first thing in the morning and get them out of the way.
Yes, and try to do it every day. It sounds like it's a lot, but it's a lot less than having to sit down on a Saturday for 5 hours, try to piece your books together. So yeah, for
I
sure.
know I use Quicken and I love just being able to generate a report for my tax person at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And it takes me 10 minutes and I'm done.
Yeah, instead of trying to recreate the year and figure out what happened and everything, 12
Right.
months ago.
Right. So
Yeah.
is there any other particular accounting advice you have for startups?
Yes, I see a lot of business owners that focus on their profit and loss statement. And it is a very important, don't get me wrong, it's a very important financial statement, but profit is not the same thing as cash. And I think a lot of business owners do not understand that. And they may look at their profit and say, I have all this money according to my profit and loss, but then when I look at my bank account, I don't have that money there. What's going on? What's the disconnect? And it's because of the way things are recorded in the accounting world, not everything you're paying for is on your profit and loss. So if you've got a loan that you're paying off, or you as the owner are taking money out of the business, that's not going to be reflected in your net profit in your net income on your income statement. So just make sure that you're looking at your cash flow statement as well to see the ins and outs of cash in the business and not solely focusing on that profit and loss, because although it's very important, cash is really the lack of cash is the number one reason businesses fail. It's because they just don't have enough cash flow. So definitely important to keep an eye on that.
Oh, thank you so much, Ann Hooper from Ann Hooper Coaching. This is Mary Scott with Business Riff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. And one of the best things you can do is book a call with me at businessriff.com. It's free. And join us again next time for Stock Time to Improv.